like this, a lot of believers take out time just to seek the face of God in prayer and fasting. Some people even travel out of town just to be alone with God in a retreat, which by all means is fantastic. Churches organize prayer and fasting program just so that members can take out time to be alone with God, because you want to recharge for the new year and you want to be sure that everything is in the hands of God, because you don't know what the year entails. Now, if you have not already hopped on that kind of program, I urge you to. Today, I want to share with you some tips for effective fasting and praying. Now, a lot of people don't fast during the year. They don't even fast at all. But at the end of the year like this, they want to fast because they believe that fasting and praying has a way it puts the new year under control. By all means, you're right. But you don't think that God is a magician. God is not that kind of being where you need something and that's when you come. He wants a relationship. So if you've not been fasting all through the year and you just want to hop on it right now, you may want to listen to my other videos about retreat, about consecration, and this one about effective tips for fasting. Now, before I talk about those effective tips, I want to read from Matthew chapter 6, 16 to 18. This was Jesus speaking. Moreover, when you fast, do not be like the hypocrites with a sad face, a sad countenance, for they disfigure their faces that they may appear to men to be fasting. Assuredly I say to you, they have received their reward already. But you, when you fast, anoint your head, wash your face, so that you do not appear to men to be fasting, but to your Father who is in the secret place. And your Father who sees in secret will reward you openly. Now that tells us that Jesus expects us to fast. So for the life of a believer, fasting is non-negotiable. You already know that prayer also is not negotiable. But when it gets to the end, like the end of the year like this, and everybody seems to be fasting and praying, what are the things, what are the suggestions that would help you to fast and pray? Number one, plan your fasting and praying and stay consistent to it. Don't just hop on it because everyone in church is fasting. Plan it. Now, some people can fast till 6 p.m. in the evening, some till 3 p.m., some till 2 p.m. Now, if you're an adult, at least skip a meal, skip breakfast at least, so you can use that time to seek the face of God. Don't fast till 6 p.m. because that's what is recommended in your church. You want to also consider your health. Determine what time you want to break your fast each day before you start. Now, if you already started, on the first day you broke at 2 o'clock, on the second day you broke at 3 o'clock, be consistent on what time you want to break every day and draw out a prayer and a study time. Number two, understand that fasting must go with prayer and the word. Except you are in a lost program, you can do whatever you like. But if you are fasting to seek the face of God, it has to go with prayer and with the word. Because the truth is that you're not impressing anybody on how much, on how well you can fast. So you have to look at what time am I going to be praying, what Bible scriptures that I'm going to be studying. Don't just skip meals. Use the time to also study the word. Now, a lot of people say, what about when I'm at work? You can take a few minutes out of work to look at the scriptures. Now, reading the scripture at work doesn't mean that you're reading a whole chapter already. Let's even take that out of your work. You wake up early to read the Bible and pray before you set out. The same thing you can do at the end of the day. Number three, bear in mind that fasting is to deaden your flesh and not necessarily to move the hand of God. So watch out for distractions like television, your phone, your friends, social media. So you don't think that, oh, I'm beating time, and so you're just watching the time running. No, it's to deaden your flesh, and things like that are part of the flesh. They steal your time. When you fast, you want to be careful about the things that steal your time and deprive you from seeking God. Number four, have a motive. Have a motive for fasting. Ask yourself, why must I fast? If you do not have a motive, you will easily fall into temptation. Your motive will sustain your drive and help you when you become tempted with food. Now, the time you're fasting is when people are probably going to offer you something that is your favorite, and you'll be tempted to want to break the fast. No, have a motive. Why am I fasting? Well, I'm fasting because I want God to intervene in my health next year. I'm fasting because I want God to help me with my business, help me with my career, help me with my finances. You have a motive for fasting. So every time where you are tempted, you think about, why am I doing this? And that motive keeps you down, keeps you going. Number 5, write down your prayer points. If possible, carry it about. I like to carry my prayer point about because it's in my diary, and my diary is always in my laptop bag. So anywhere I go, I go through it, I can see it, and I can take a few moments to just silently pray wherever I find myself. One thing that writing down your prayer point also does for you is that it helps you to track your testimonies. So when the prayer points become testimony, you can look back and say, oh yeah, I remember a time when I wrote this thing down and it has become a testimony. Now, this is part 1 on effective ways to pray and fast. Part 2 we follow up. I urge you to look forward to